I'm really not even sure if I should be doing this right now. I don't even know why I'm feeling like this. But I don't know. I'm coming off of a 12-hour shift and came in and laid down about 11:30 and woke up around 2:30. Just could not sleep, and so many things on my mind just going through my head. One of the adolescents where I work is Indian, Native Indian. And, we got to talking, and he was saying how it is like on his reservation and stuff. And it just got me thinking about my family, because I have desired to just know more about my family lineage. A lot on my grandmom's side. And we were told, in the family before my grandma passed, she told us to pick out what we wanted. She told us to pick out what we wanted so that, there wouldn't be any problems when she passed. Everyone would end up getting, that thing that they had asked for. And everybody would know because everything was going to get tagged. And there was this Indian head that I loved. There were two things that I had asked for that I wanted. It was this dragon, white dragon, that was underneath of my grandmom's table that I got. And then there was this Indian head that I wanted, that I really wanted. It was this. And I wanted that because I know that my grandmother's parents were Indian. And I wanted to have something that I felt would help to preserve our family history. You could look at my grandmother, and to me, you could tell that she's got some kind of Indian in her. This is a picture that we took together. And it's just look at her features. Her mother was really brown skinned. And she, my mom said, because I got pictures, I was the one that got the pictures of my great-grandmother. And she had this, long, wavy, dark hair. It's my grandma, when she was younger. And I'm you can just see, and her features the Native Indian in her. And I don't want to go by what I heard. I want to go by what I actually know. And so this just kind of led to me thinking about, so much stuff about how people are in a family and just where I am, and especially, one auntie in particular that it's felt like I've had a bit of a struggle with. I know I'm looking busted as hell right now. My alarm went off. I should be getting ready for work now. I could barely sleep. But I feel like there was just a lot of questions that I have, and the feelings that I started feeling, was feeling so separated from everybody in the family. Because thinking about my grandmom's death got me thinking about my mom's death and how I was treated, how I felt so excluded. And I don't know if people felt like I kind of left them out, because I started to notice how if I wasn't really reaching out to people and they weren't really reaching out to me, and I just felt like that's not a real relationship. A real relationship is equally reciprocated, and you make time for what you want to make time for. Which brings me to the whole point of the one auntie. When I tell you, we used to talk on the phone damn near every day, especially when she moved back home. And she would just express, how alone she felt, how she was trying to find a way to fit in being there because she was not used to being there after living in the city for so long and now having to reacclimate herself to, her childhood surroundings. And it was just different, friends and everything. And I just thought about, how hurt I had been from her actions when I decided not to be a Christian anymore. And I just feel like just because I decided to not be a Christian doesn't take away from the fact that I was still her niece, and I don't know. People don't. I don't feel like I've been treated the way that I've treated other people. Like, I've not been given the same consideration. Like, I was there for her to talk to be a shoulder to cry on with everything that she was going through. When I decided to not be a Christian, I never got Christian behavior given back to me. And I don't even want to say Christian behavior, but just true concern, for me as a person. Like, I thought the purpose of being a Christian was to help you be a better person. And I even hate harping on the whole Christian thing, because I just feel like the Christianity really has nothing to do with it. It's just a personality defect. That's just her personality. And I don't think that she would ever recognize that in herself. I've been so excluded from my family, and it's one of the reasons why I'm just like, I can't have a relationship with people that don't honestly have any real concern or love for me. And it doesn't even have to be a Christian thing, a religion thing. How do you just not care about somebody that is in your family? And the thing that gets me is, when I feel like I got such poor treatment when my mom passed, and it felt like, the expectations that were had in the family was, oh, you're grown, you should know better, or you should know how to do this or that or whatever, and not really trying to understand or have any kind of sympathy for my situation, or even trying to get to know me. I don't know if anyone ever really tried to get to know me. They just kind of went off of what they thought they knew of me, and never really looked at me as a person, never really even seen like the challenges that I had to go through losing a mother, and not knowing how to really deal with that and live just in general, because I had been a bit sheltered. At the time that most kids are getting out and getting on their own, and when I wanted to get my own place, my mom was like, no, like, I want you to stay here, and I don't know, there's things that I wish I had done differently. I wish I had gained more independence when I was younger, so I wouldn't have struggled so much coming up. But because of that, it's like you get to a certain age and it's automatically assumed that you're just supposed to know certain things. And I understand that that's not the case. You can't expect a person who is in a Spanish-speaking place to know how to speak Spanish just because they live there, if they've never been taught how to speak Spanish. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because at the age of an adult where you would feel like I'm supposed to have certain information and operate a certain way, does not mean that that's going to be true for me if I haven't learned those things? So those expectations then should be different for me. And it should be some compassion to at least say, well, let me help you and let me show you. And there was none of that. I felt like I just got so looked down upon, when my mom passed. And I feel like this one particular auntie had a lot to do with it because she was the main one that was around. And the reason it hurts so bad is because she was the one auntie that I, for many reasons just felt like I was the closest to, or she had been like a favorite of mine since I was little. And I guess, still looking at the reality of things. We don't really talk. There's certain acknowledgments, but I feel like this family is just so fucked up. One auntie I have is actually has actually been willing to accept me and build a relationship with me. Like I'm not a kid and I don't want to be treated as such. I'm an adult and there should be an equal amount of respect on both ends, not just on your end, from me because you're my aunt, but a reciprocated respect because I'm a person and I'm an adult and I have the right to be treated decently. The same consideration that you would want me to give you is the same consideration that I should be given. And I just don't feel like that's something that has always been done in this family. And I really just wish that it was different. I did reach out to my auntie and just express that, I miss her. I don't understand why I was treated so poorly. And I guess I'm still trying to, heal from that and deal with it in my own way, which is, me not shoving it down, but actually allowing myself to go through the feelings of it and feel whatever it is that I need to feel. I just wish that things were different. I wish things were different and I wish that we were closer. I used to be really close with her daughter. We no longer have a relationship. And I don't even know if there's even any concern, I feel like whatever happened on her end, that she just feels justified in not speaking for whatever reason. And it's fine because I feel justified in mine. And, but I feel like the reason stems back to one particular incident that really is a misunderstood situation, primarily based off of one person's I guess interpretation of the situation of what happened, one person's explanation, I should say, of a situation that happened. and some biasness there. And I don't know, I feel like I'm a bit different when it comes to certain things, really having more of an ability to be able to see things from more than one side. And it's not always easy setting your boundaries when it comes to people and understanding how to disperse your energy that you give, and the value that I place on relationships and who I allow to have a relationship with me. I think I'm more strict with it. I'm more less yielding when it comes to who I allow to share my energy, because I'm not just so willing to give people access to me simply because. But it doesn't mean that I don't still desire to be close to these individuals or have a relationship. But sometimes it's challenging because I can't get past the feeling of people calling each other family but don't show any love like family is supposed to show. I'm related to a whole bunch of people, but family, I have very little. And I feel like that's, why it's been so important for me to understand my family history, to want to know my family roots, to have something to share with my kids, what I can pass down. I don't even know why I decided to do this, but it's just really sad and hurt. And just looking for answers. Like, I'd like to have some answers, and I just feel like trying to get that or express anything would just come back with retaliation of some sort, or not trying to understand. Like, I don't think we would actually be able to have like a real conversation without a confrontation, and that's not what I want. I don't want a confrontation. I just want some answers. I just want answers. I just want to know why. Like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Do people really take into consideration how people feel? I don't know. I'm just ready for this life to be over. I'm ready for this life to be over. I am ready to go on to my next life, and if I have to come back and do this again, there's definitely going to be some things that I will do differently, and I'm hoping that my soul will remember so that I can make different choices. So, anyway, I guess this is it for me since I don't really have anyone that I could talk to. So, y'all are it, okay? Anyway, I gotta get myself together because I have to be to work, get ready for work, go to work in a few hours. And I barely got any sleep. But today's my last day of work for this week. I'm off for the rest of the week after tonight. So, I don't know if there's anybody that actually resonates and understands what I'm personally dealing with when it comes to, you know, just things of feeling alone and not really having any family there. I don't know how you guys deal with it. I'm open for suggestions.